Next on the agenda, CDPG. Marion, will speak to that.
The community development block grant, we're still awaiting the 2013 budget contracts. I don't believe the budget hasn't been passed, so we don't have final numbers. So as you recall, we don't. In the past, we haven't gotten our contracts till September, October. So it's nothing unusual. As far as the project line, I know the public art project. I keep reporting, and someday I will get the RFP out. I will this week. The theater walkway, that project has been postponed due to the weather. It was a little cold, and in addition, we met with the contractor, with Joe Dean from Public Works and the engineers to go over the project. We walked the project area. We had some discussions with the contractor, regarding the timing and of the different project areas. And I may have discussed this last time, but the area that they'll address first will be behind where MCS Mortgage is, in Oak Street, that where the asphalt is. So they'll be putting in a new curb, and then they're going to address that area. What they're most likely going to have to do is they're going to start that like on a Thursday of whatever week they start. They were supposed to start the 25th, then they're supposed to start, this week. And now, hopefully next week, but we still have to wait for the samples, and the engineer wants cut sheets from all the items that they're using on the project. But at any rate, when they get started,
we don't have a start date.
We don't have a start date, but there'll be, plus this the South by South Shore Festival with this week. They were worried about that. I didn't really think it was going to interfere, but that was.
The other probably shouldn't have anyway, right? The walkway.
No, because they were just going to do the rear, like I said, and then they're going to do the walkway, the area between Parabel. That is going to be about a 4-day period. They're going to rip and replace that in 4 days. It's complicated because, as you know, we have 3 different colors of concrete. We have 3 different designs. So that's going to be a little difficult, but I think we had a very good meeting with all the property owners in the area are aware of what's going on. We're still waiting for a schedule from the contractor, but that's all being held up because of the weather. So I had a call into him today. I haven't heard back from him, but I'll let the board know as soon as that gets started. So that's where we are with the theater walkway. The next, we have the parking lot, let's see, the wayfinding parking lot signs, which was a bid out as the design build parking lot signs for the BOP CDA project 2013-1. That's how it was bid out. We had we published that in Long Island Advance. I also went on the New York State website that has contractors, MWBE, Minority Women Business Owned Enterprise, certified companies, so I could get the notice out to those companies that did signage there as well. So I sent it out to about 10 companies through that. So 8 companies picked up, 2 I did electronically, and only 1 responded. So that was the winning bid. It was the, well, not the winning bid. It's the lowest responsible bidder. It's the lone bidder. But since we had made those efforts and we had so many people pick up, it was a fair representation. I think what happened was a lot of the companies that picked up were smaller companies, and as you know, this is the size of our bidding package because we have federal requirements, and it becomes a little bit daunting. I mean, 40 pages alone has to do with the Davis-Bacon, the Section 3, employment, other issues regarding the federal funds, and also the fact that we required a bid bond and also a performance bond. Some of the smaller companies don't have the wherewithal to get those.
Performance bonds is something that we normally require. Didn't we in the other walkway too, the road walkway? Did we require a performance bond as well?
Well, and the bigger projects, we don't have a problem, but the signage project is very small.
Yeah, okay.
And so most of the sign companies are small companies, so they're not used to bidding out projects like this. I don't think they were used to seeing this kind of a bid package. So the company that submitted it's Straight Edge Striping, and they're actually from New Jersey, but they did a project in the Bronx. They supplied their experience, their qualifications, which we require on every bid. So they had supplied 4 of these. One of them was St. Barnabas in the Bronx. They did all the pavement marking and signage. That project was $80,000. Our project, their bid came in a little over $20,000. So it's a much bigger project. They're used to it.
Yeah, we're not talking high-tech services here either. I mean, like, you know, it's nothing critical.
Right, and actually Jerry Giosa from Level G, that's the consultant that we're using. It's also the consultant that the bid used for their parking study, and who advised that this might be a first step to trying to address the parking issues we have in the downtown area. He's worked with them before, and he knows of their qualifications, their ability to do the job, the fact that they're a pretty big outfit. They come with their equipment, they have their trucks, they're ready to go. So he was confident they could come out and do this project in not only a timely manner, but in a professional manner. So that's he provided a letter after he did his analysis. I provided that in the package for the board. There's a letter from Level G in which he reviewed the unit prices and the references. And the construction cost estimate from Level G was $23,000, not including contingencies. The bid prices actually came out at $20,546. So it was below the amount that they had anticipated. And as he said, he checked the reference, and all the references reported that the quality of the contractor and their work was either good or excellent. So so he said that all other aspects of the bidder's bid package are in agreement with the bid requirements and acceptable. So they recommended that the CDA enter into an agreement with Straight Edge, I should say. So what I'm seeking now from this board is a motion to award the bid to Straight Edge Striping. I'll just let you know that after this, it will go before the village board on Monday, just because, you know, this was a kind of a project that we've been collaborating with. The bid had done the work about getting the consultant to do the study, and this was the recommendation, but they didn't have the funding to pay for the actual project. We had the funding to pay for the project, but as we all, Jerry Giosa has done presentations to the village board as well as the bid, so.
Give it to Irene then? You'll give it to Irene?
I'll give it to Irene and ask her to include it. I forgot about that. The days just ran together. So I'll make sure that they're aware, and I don't know whose agenda, I guess it'll go on your agenda.
Probably.
Okay.
Either mine or Jack's, it doesn't matter, parking, or maybe Jack's.
All right, so at that point then, once if this board approves this bid tonight, then I will contact the Straight Edge next Wednesday and start the ball rolling to enter into a contract and get everything in place. In order to do the project, once we get into contract, he's going to have to do mark out the location. We've already met with Joe Dean because he's going to have to work with the contractor to make sure the locations are proper, that they're not interfering with crosswalks and other things that are
Did they
going
give it
on.
a start and complete date, any kind of start and complete date estimated?
Well,
Well, I guess
they don't have a
wait till
contract
it
yet.
gets right?
I mean, the goal is to have it done by the end of May.
Yeah, right.
And I think we didn't put that in the notice, but that's going to be what's communicated. And
He's going to provide a schedule anyway, though, right?
Yeah, he will provide a schedule, and I'll let him know that we have to keep everybody on the village. I'll have to guess Trustee Krieger and you. So.
I think they should know that we would like it done quickly, before the summer particularly.
Yes.
May is good.
We'll let them know that we'd like it done during the month of May.
Okay.
So I'll read this. We'll be seeking a motion to award the bid for the design build parking lot signs, Village of Patchogue CDA Project 2013-1 to Straight Edge Striping LLC, in the amount of $20,546. Can I have a motion?
You can go ahead, I'll second.
And second by Tony. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passed.
Okay, thank you.
Now, just to step back real quick to public art. You know, we've always been saying, no,
No, I know, I feel
the
terrible, but that,
graffiti criminals don't deface murals. Well, they did.
oh, which one?
On the north side of Bravo building, the race boats,
Oh, yeah.
it's not terrible,
Uh-huh.
but there's some white swirling marks.
Oh,
So, I don't know if someone's gonna fix that or
well,
what.
hopefully Mr. Bonilla maybe will take care of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's about this big,
Mm.
but it just
Shame.
boils my blood when I see that.
Yeah.
Did, we had talked about a special coating, a sealant over the murals. Has that been done? Was that done in the banjo?
No, we haven't sealed it yet, have we?
No?
Well, we haven't, I think that was something that we asked the
Yeah, we haven't
DPW to
sealed it, but,
do,
yeah.
so,
Right.
No, we haven't
so
sealed
we'll
it.
have to put that in.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Who would be paying for that now at this point?
That's a good, point,
Don't
because.
smile, Joe.
Yeah, because, we had,
We don't have any we don't have a band shell line anymore, do we?
well, we do, but, at this point, it really is not completion of the mural, it's,
Well, we got $8,000, yeah.
it's more maintenance.
Let me talk to Joe. And amazingly enough, that wheel hasn't been touched.
Yeah.
I saw some young people down there the other day, and they were playing soccer with the band shell as their goal. And they were kicking the ball pretty hard. They weren't hurting anything. And a number of times I've seen children there jumping around and singing, and you know, it's fun. They love the echo and all. But I was wondering, not like the bands do. The bands don't like the echo, but the kids do. So the ball was hitting that pretty hard. I was just wondering if we have that sealant on there, if that would make a difference.
We'd have to go back and look, we'll have to talk to,
I'll double
Department of
check.
Public
It could have been
Works and
something,
see what we have to do.
maybe done or not done, but I don't
If
if I was a gambler, I'd
being
gamble that it hasn't been done yet.
Well, wasn't the paint though selected to be more cleanable?
I don't recall. I know when we met with the representatives from Sherwin-Williams, we did talk about that, but I think ultimately it was supposed to be sealed because
Yeah.
even though the paint was durable and it was appropriate for the surface it was going on, I think it still needed to be sealed. So I think that still has to occur.
While we're on the topic of the band shell, along the bottom, there, it looks like at one point there was a piece of wood or that Trex material.
The top
And
edge?
Yes.
Yeah,
that
and it's
was-
come
yeah.
off, and it kind of distracts from the mural in a sense, because it's just not completed. And if that board could be reattached, I think.
Yeah, we had, Joe and I
that would
talked
make-
about something, that we're gonna do some of that too, and like, since over a year ago, we've done it.
Yeah, I think
Push
this
back a
was,
little bit, I gotta bring it back to the front burner, that's all.
when we
Okay.
actually had done the band shell, that was complete,
Mhm.
as we know. And then it was through vandalism
Yeah.
was ripped
That
off.
board was pulled
That
off.
Yeah.
I think that if that was back there again, it could also protect it from the elements, especially when we.
We had
have
actually
the
talked about even
flooding.
putting like a small, like a low hedge along the thing, so no one
Right.
could put it, that kind of thing, but
Priorities.
Right,
Well, I think plantings, I have to check our description. I don't know if we have plantings in our description. But
well,
I don't know
probably
if you
wouldn't
wanna
be
have.
through us, probably wouldn't have to be.
Well, I
we could-
think we might be able to do it, but the thing is then they'd have to clean. I mean, they remove the hedges from over by the playground because the difficulty in maintaining them,
Yeah.
is that something that we'd wanna be maintaining? That's the other thing to think about. So, would you like
Section
the
8?
section 8 report? Okay, I can tell you that, our utilization is, we had 165 vouchers leased up and, we have 3 vouchers that people are looking for units. So our utilization is, we had 98% for this month, our annual lease up is about 97%, which means that we're meeting the benchmark that HUD would like us to meet regarding our lease ups. We did get notice that our administrative fees, if you'll recall, our administrative fees have been cut steadily over the last few years, and I repeat this information, but I'll tell you this: if we were provided our administrative fees, as you know, we get paid per voucher. So our voucher authority is 173 vouchers total. We never actually able to keep 173 because people move in, people move out. Unfortunately, people pass away, and our voucher level changes monthly. But if we were to be paid, we would receive at 100% $101.80 per voucher. Well, last year we were reimbursed at a proration amount of 72% of that. This year we're down to 69%. So instead of getting 101.8 for each voucher, we're getting $70.24. And if we're administering a voucher for another jurisdiction, so like this month, I think we had 19 vouchers that we administered for another jurisdiction. Last year we were getting paid $59.82 per voucher. This year we're going to get paid $52.45. So that's what at this point what the sequestration meant for us. That means that our administrative fees that we anticipate receiving, our administrative fees that we received for March was $11,447, which is less than it's about what we predicted, because I know when we talked about the budget the month prior, that was about what we predicted per month. It's hard to see it actually come to fruition. But I can tell you that they actually overfunded us on our housing assistance payments, because we received $181,308 and we only expended $171,756. So we ended up getting an extra $9,552, which now goes into our restricted assets. So that's the kind of and as you know, at the beginning of last year, we had over $400,000 in our net restricted assets, so that we could cover monthly payments on our vouchers, and now HUD changed the way they do it. They had us use up most of our funds. We still can't cover a whole month of voucher payments, and which makes me a little nervous, because if something happens to HUD or the government, we can't make the rent payments for the next month. It hasn't happened yet, so we're keeping our fingers crossed. But so that's the Section 8 report.
Well, we talk about the public authority.
If you like, go right ahead. Yeah, I mean,
We all should have gotten one of these emailed.
Yes. As I said, this is the we have here. I don't know if you have one.
I bet if I didn't print it out.
Yes,
I'll just do an inch. Under the public authority law, as a public authority, we have to adopt a mission statement as well as performance goals. And I asked the board to review these over the last month because, and to be considered at this month's meeting, because next month I should be providing an annual report, which would be a response to the performance goals and an analysis of whether or not we've met these goals. And then that is then the board can accept that, and then we post that to the website where everything else is posted, and that's part of our compliance requirements. So that's all I wanted to say.
Now, I personally feel that the performance goals are kind of right on target, but the mission statement, to me, kind of seems to focus on Section 8, and it doesn't highlight the rest of the things that we do. I say maybe that's me, just the way I read it. So I was thinking that maybe that could be changed a little bit. So I don't know if there was any other thoughts.
I mean, and I think I recall that when we were drafting, I believe it was a committee that was just Joe Keys and Dave Reese. They worked on that, and I think.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, and I think we took this off of another agency's website and we just kind of massaged it so that it fit what we did. And the first sentence, or the first clause, was basically related to the CDBG, which is to provide a suitable living environment and a viable community for all village residents. But I could see why that might, we might want to look at that and maybe, I don't want to say embellish, but maybe make the mission, maybe make the statement a little bit more representative of what we actually do. Because it's kind of
some of the goals, maybe.
Well, to touch upon,
I mean, because we, yeah.
I mean, the statement itself is generally supposed to be relatively brief and just
Very
kind of.
brief.
Right.
That,
Yeah.
agreed. I say personally, I read that and I didn't feel that we're talking about all the things that we do.
Well, it does say through the development of community improvement projects, which is what we do.
Right, we provide suitable living and a viable community by meeting these performance goals.
Yeah. Well, if we're happy with that, I mean, we want to certainly agree on it. Yeah.
I'm not opposed to expanding it a little, but
What?
I think if you read it and then read the goals, you can see that the statement does kind of say, what we're going to do, and these are the goals that are going to help us reach that.
Okay then.
I mean,
That was just my only comment. And,
Did you have any specific additional
no,
clauses that you want to put in
no,
there?
I just thought
Okay.
I wanted to see what everybody else may have come up with. Well, if we're all happy with it, so be it.
Okay, well, so then if that's the case, then I'll prepare the report for next month's meeting and provide it to the board. So I think there's just, also under public authority, we may, in next month's meeting, we're going to have, the audit committee will be meeting and the governance committee will be meeting. So that's
Next month?
Next month.
So like 6:30 next month?
6:30 next
Okay.
month.
Okay.
The audit committee meeting and then followed at 6:45 by the governance committee meeting. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
What?
Do you have a chairperson for the governance committee?
I think our chair will be the chairperson of the governance committee.
Okay.
It's always good to
Glad
nominate
to hear
somebody
that.
who's not in the room.
There you go. All right.
Never be away. So that's what, just, so we'll have to, I guess hopefully Jason will be available to be able to meet with me after April 15th.
Yeah, right.
We won't give him much downtime,
Right.
and then we'll get going on the audit committee, but that'll help also with the report. And we're also going to do the adoption of employee raises that'll be effective June 1st, and then the chair will
That's
have.
for next month's meeting, you're saying?
Yeah, I think I provided the subject to the monthly meetings,
Yeah.
I think you're aware.
Yeah, so.
So, let's see, now.
Is there other business?
I don't think, I want to thank everyone who was able to come to everybody who came to the award ceremony. It was very nice.
It was quite an affair.
Yes.
Very well deserved.
Thank you.
Very well deserved.
It was very
Yes.
nice. It was nice to see everybody. So it was good, and it's being repeated now on Channel 18.
Oh,
Is
is
that
it?
right?
Yes.
Really?
So not that I want to watch it again, but if anybody wants to see it again, and the women there were just so impressive. I mean, I just think that it was just a really wonderful night, and just to be among those women was great. So
I think you would enjoy watching.
yeah, I did catch it a little bit. Yeah. So I did watch, and it was I really, what struck me, although it's not about me, but I mean, all the women were impressive. There was the one woman who did the fundraising up for with the cancer walk, who found out that most of the money that she raised really went out of our area and really wanted to focus locally. So that was really, I don't know why that resonated with me. I guess because I do so much, and I feel we all do stuff to focus on Patchogue, and
Right.
and the fact that she really understood that a lot of times the larger fundraising entities aren't focused so much locally, and just, you know, having an impact on an individual is meaningful, and you get to see the results right there. So
Maybe that's why she was so successful with her fundraising, is
Yeah.
that people can see the results in their own community.
yeah, yeah. And I think, what else was, we're waiting for community development block grant funds to come for the recovery. Is on a meeting with the county today. That's, as I think I told the board, our agency's not going to receive any recovery funds. That the recovery funds, the way HUD has set it up, is that and I forgot the amount. I think New York State is for the first round is getting something like $1.17 billion, and I think, unless they're splitting, I think that's what it is. And they're determining which counties get the amounts, but it's going to go directly from the federal government to the state, and the state to the county, and the county is going to be dealing with that directly. So it's not going to come to our smaller agencies.
Has COED had anything to do?
We have to meet. The COED, and I definitely need to have a meeting for the COED. Actually,
Did we recruit any of the volunteers in that
well,
thing?
no, we haven't, because we haven't met. We did meet with Laura Caton, who's the voluntary agency liaison director for Long Island, and gave us a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're hopefully planning a meeting in the next 2 weeks to have stakeholders, as we say, like individuals from the religious organizations, and you know, from the churches or the synagogue, and as well as other groups that would have members who want to participate, and then work from there. But I did speak with someone today from Project Hope, who said she just spoke to a resident down on Smith Street that is still struggling. His house isn't redone, and she says there is a need. And without us experiencing it directly, although I know members on our board are experiencing it directly, maybe there's just not that urgency, or it's just really overwhelming, because I'm not sure which way I go, because you know, it's overwhelming because so much needs to be done, but we really need to get going. And then on the other hand, I have my day-to-day. So what I decided today was actually talk to Nadia Iniguez in our office and ask her to make that her priority, because she has the time, and I'll have her set up the meetings and get everything coordinated.
And she also volunteered to translate.
Right.
She said she would do that.
Yeah.
Good.
So I don't know if Tony had any comments.
We are at the point where we want to set up our meeting where we invite other community members, and that just we need to find a good time.
Anybody sign up the night of the?
Yes, a few
good.
people did,
Oh, cool. Good.
and they were interested, and that was nice
Yeah,
to
good.
see. And what was interesting also is that some of the people who were affected gave us some good ideas about how we could be helpful and how they could be helped, and also volunteered. So
Great.
we
Good.
have an additional list, and then we at some of the meetings that we attended, we also got some people interested, a local Red Cross person, people from Project Hope. So I think we have a start. We're just hoping to get some of the first responders and some of the faith-based
I think Project Hope has been
organizations.
taking advantage of this South by South Shore Week too. I see them out every night of the year.
Yeah, they're
And
true.
yes.
They actually, and I did speak with someone from Project Hope, and she said she actually has been helping people
Yeah.
by
Good.
attending the events and meeting people who are still needing assistance. So that's good. We have a couple of things coming up this week. We'll be attending next week. The Sustainable Long Island is having a day seminar regarding the recovery. So I think I'll be attending with Tony and a couple of other members. So we'll be going to that, and then I'm hoping to go to the Long Island Housing Partnership is having their silver anniversary, and the Secretary of HUD will be there, Sean Donovan, and that's Thursday night. And I'm also planning a Association of Long Island Housing Agencies. Our meeting is not next week, the 17th. So it's Fair Housing Month. So I've arranged to have a speaker from Long Island Housing Services there. And as you know, as a housing authority, well, we're subject to the fair housing laws, and so we usually receive regular training on that anyway. So we just have to be conscious of that. So Carmen will be coming with me, and we'll have a speaker on that. And I think that's it.
We going to get sworn in at Monday's meeting?
You know, that's a good question. What was the original plan? Are you gonna come
Yes.
April 1st to the board meeting?
Mhm.
Was that the original plan?
Yeah, and then
And we pushed it back to the 8th?
It was canceled. I called that day and they said, oh, it's been canceled.
Yeah, we pushed it back. That's a long story. But, yeah, then I guess at the April 8th board meeting then, Monday. Is that what
Yes.
Patty said?
Yeah, I think she asked that all the board members be there.
Randy probably can't.
And yeah, but if you can't make the Monday meeting, then you just come another time.
Just wait till
and she'll
one day
swear you in.
after Monday.
Yeah.
After Monday next week.
What time did you say?
Well, the regular board meeting will be at 6.
Oh,
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock now.
the reorganization is
The
when?
reorg is like 5, and then we're having a budget hearing. Budget
But that's
meeting.
not for the public.
No,
Right. So the regular meeting is at 6 o'clock.
no,
No,
5 for the budget and 6 for the organization, and then the regular.
See, I just show up at 5, and they tell me where am I going, where we're gonna
It'll
get
just
first.
go
That's what
on
we-
and on
yeah,
and
it's
on and
awesome.
on.
okay, so what time do they have to be there to get sworn in? The reorganization's
Sometime
at
there at
6.
6.
6, be there
all right.
at 6.
6 o'clock next Monday.
Right.
Okay.
So anyone who can attend on that night can just meet with Patty or Irene after at another time during regular business hours, and you'll get sworn in.
We'll sworn at. Any further business?
That's when we double your pay that night. You get just a promotion, double your pay.
There's no further business, public to be heard. Of course.
I don't know where I'm gonna stand, I guess right here.
And just come right out.
Take your podium away, look at that.
I think yeah, you might wanna
Yeah, I'm
sum
going
it
to.
up. I'm glad I came because I've heard about this group for a long time, so, and I'm sitting here and I'm realizing you have a lot of things that you are doing. I just want to ask a question about public art and whether it's within the jurisdiction of what you do, which is the murals, because you referred to the murals and protecting them against criminal action or vandalism. Do you have a mural project? Are you going to create more murals in the village? Is that part of what you do or not?
Well, the bandshell mural was funded by us, the little that it took. It was sponsored by us for sure. And we hope to get together with...
Yeah, we're hoping to do a couple of other mural projects. The bid has approached us about working with them on redoing the mural that was on where the tap room is near the courthouse.
Right.
And then we would like to do a mural in Furman Square Park along the Dragon Palace. Although that wall looks actually nice the way it is, but we just concerned because we do find that murals do diminish the amount of graffiti that we have. The graffiti artists tend to respect murals. So it is something, we don't have a large budget for it, but it is something that we've been approached about doing public art, and we do have a budget line for it. So we are going to be going out to request qualifications for a consultant to help with doing a call for artists and vetting the call, and then helping project manage the murals. So we hope to have murals done in the next 4 to 6 months.
Okay. Well, just as a member of the public, I think Patchogue has so much wall space actually that it lends itself to mural work, and it goes in line with everything else the village is trying to promote in terms of art, music, entertainment. It would just be good. So I'm glad that that's the direction that you're going in.
And we have found, other than the spot that Don pointed out earlier, we have found, like with the band show, which we had a lot of trouble with kids and vandalism. Once we did the mural, minimized. We don't see too much, so it's kind of like an artist respecting another artist's work, I guess.
Might I ask, Ms. Dean, the kids you saw using the band shell as a soccer background, were they small kids? Teenagers?
No, they were probably, no, they weren't teenagers. I'd say they were probably 12,
Well,
maybe 13. No,
and I take it there's no code presence in the park, right?
I didn't see any
Only when
at
they're cold.
that time.
Only one call.
No, they weren't really hurting anything. There wasn't a game going on. Sometimes when there's a baseball game in the field, you'll see children playing. It's a playground,
Right.
so the children do enjoy going across the bridge and over by the band shell. And there was a couple of young people standing up on the band shell, and then the other boy was kicking the soccer ball into the band shell.
Okay.
Kids are very creative in ways that they play, and I don't think they were hurting anything, but I thought just our protective coat over the paint might keep it from chipping. That was the project with the band shell. We were thinking of it as an anti-graffiti project, and it was done in cooperation with the high school art department, and it was designed by a local artist, and the students participated in it, so it was a nice cooperative venture.
So that's down Shorefront Park, right?
Yes.
Do the Friends of Shorefront Park, do they still exist, the Friends of Shorefront Park?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I was wondering if, is that a source of money that you tap into?
That was for the
Playground.
playground as such.
But that's how it started, to get playground funding, right?
Yeah, that's
But I
that
don't
was
think
for the play. They raised money for the playground. I'm not sure if they still exist. I would think they may. It's just they haven't been active in fundraising recently. I mean, they were formed for the purpose at that time to raise money, and we did collaborate with them along with that state grant that we had gotten.
That's the pirate playground?
No, that was just the last playground that was done. The one that's the universally accessible playground. That was a combination of CDBG, New York State funds, and the Friends of Shorefront. So we were able to do that without having to go to either the Parks and Rec budget or the general fund. We were able to do that without having to come out of village taxpayers. I mean, other than the federal funds that we receive, which is just general. So yeah, and I don't know. They may be, come back because the new pirate ship playground is. I think they may need funding. There may be a need for funding for that.
Okay. That's, I just wanted to say, I think the mural's a great idea for the village, so anything you do is good.
Okay, thank you.
Josephine,
No. I'll
no further discussion? Make a motion to adjourn? Joe, second?
Second.
Tony? Next meeting is May 2nd?
Was it 8 at 7:42?